Hello everyone! On this fortuitous day, we finally received the trailer for the new beast units that are coming to Fire Emblem Heroes, including Tibarn, Nailah, and now 2 other characters. So we're going to dive into this trailer and see what we can discern from these skills, characters, and how these new beast units are going to work in Heroes. So let's take a look. It's 2019, so even the trailers have to get power crept, right? Although we do see all of the units beforehand now, which is pretty anticlimactic. I don't really like that too much. They definitely went a little bit more all out with the animation in this trailer too, by the way. Okay, so we have Tibarn, of course, Lord of the Air.
I always pay my debts. That's how I do things.
So he is a red flying beast unit. We gathered that last time from the Fae channel. We can see that he's obviously going to be pretty strong and pretty fast, which we also gathered last time. All right, so Hawk King Claw grants attack +3, and if foe's HP is equal to 100%, and if the unit initiates combat, unit makes a guaranteed follow-up attack. So basically we have a nice little quick riposte built into his weapon here, essentially, as long as the foe's HP is within this certain range, which is obviously 100%. So it's going to be a little bit, I guess, hit and miss, because it's obviously not going to work very consistently all the time, but that is a very nice little quick riposte kind of built into his weapon there, which I like. He does deserve something special being the Hawk King. So that's pretty cool. And then at the start of the turn, if unit is adjacent to only beast or dragon allies, or if the unit is not adjacent to any ally, unit transforms. Otherwise, unit reverts. If unit transforms, unit can move 1 extra space. That turn only, does not stack. If unit transforms, grants attack +2. So basically what this is implying is that Intelligent Systems has determined, in order to balance these beast units, they are only going to be able to transform if you have all dragon or all beast allies surrounding them, or if they're just alone. So if you're going to do kind of a tactics team, it's not really going to work with these units. You're going to want them to be solo. So I guess you could, I mean, in this case with Tibarn, we're going to get to his other skills later. He's not going to want attack speed solo or anything like that on him, at least not while he's got this A skill. But that's essentially how they're going to work if you're going to put them onto other teams. Otherwise, they're going to have to be surrounded by dragon or beast units. My assumption is that that's for balance purposes, but that's also kind of interesting because it makes it so that you basically need a beast or a dragon squad to utilize them to their full potential. So then, of course, so he also gets the attack +2 if he transforms. So basically, he's getting attack +5 as a hawk, which is pretty nice. And of course, that 1 extra space movement that we saw in the original Fae Channel trailer, they are only going to get it that turn only when they transform. So it's not going to be a permanent 3-space movement. So this is definitely a nice way of, I think, balancing that, because otherwise I don't know how they would have worked. I think it would have been kind of broken, especially when you have flyers that can move 3 spaces and stuff like that. That's just, there's too much shenanigans there with that. So I guess technically what you could do as kind of a strat would be to have them transform, get the 3 movement off, maybe, you know, knock out some opponent, then either put them next to one of your other allies that's not a beast or dragon unit, and then at that rate, they'll revert. And as long as you can kind of protect them that turn, you can then separate them again, have them transform again, and get the 3 movement off again. But that's kind of, you know, sort of a long game, especially if you're just going to be doing arena or other stuff like that. It's really not going to work out quite that well. But you do get that initial 3 movement, so that's pretty interesting. He's also got Draconic Aura here, pretty standard. He's got clearly, you know, high attack, so that makes sense on him. Although the, you know, 3-turn cooldown is not always ideal. Then he's got this skill, Sturdy Impact, as an A skill. You can see the blinding gold border there. It's a little too bright for me. This is a power crept skill. Thanks, I hate it. Who did this? So this skill is basically a power crept sturdy blow, which is just not fun. I'm not a fan of the 4th level skills, the whole kind of skill power creep we're starting to see, which began with Death Blow 4 on the Brave Celica. So this one is, I'll be honest, this is kind of egregiously bad, this one. If unit initiates combat, grants attack +6, defense +10 during combat, and foe cannot make a follow-up attack. Yikes. This is even a power crept death blow at this point. You're getting that attack +6, also immense defense so that you definitely live, and they can't even make a follow-up attack. This skill is nuts, and it's going to be inheritable. So the other sad thing is that a lot of people are going to be killing and sacrificing the Hawk King himself, Tibarn, for that skill. They're going to be feeding... All right, hold on. They're going to be feeding this skill to armors, which means that armors also just got power crept again. they're going to be even better than before. And I don't want to harp on the negative with this because I am still very excited about beast units, but this is not fun. This is not going to be a good skill. You're going to see this on probably Surtur. Oh my god. I'm not excited for this skill. This skill kind of ruins it. All right. Beast skill, chill attack 3. Solid skill, of course. Going to inflict that attack -7 on the foe with the highest attack through their next action. So that's a great skill. Great tech choice. I love the chill skills. And then he also has even attack wave 3. So granting that attack +6 to unit and adjacent allies for 1 turn. Bonus granted even if no allies are adjacent, of course. So he's looking very, very solid. He's going to be king of the crop. Primo tier fodder. If you're going to actually use him for fodder, that is. He's probably going to be a pretty solid unit himself. But that A skill is just so good. We're going to see that on everything now. I'm really scared. All right, let's keep going, though.
I can hardly control myself.
Alrighty, next up we have Forest Song Leanne. Her artwork is gorgeous. I like that a lot. So she is going to be a colorless beast unit, a flying colorless beast unit. We can see her heron transformation right here. That's pretty cool. And of course, she's going to be a dancer, just like the herons were in the original Path of Radiance and Radiant Dawn games. And as far as her kit goes, we have Heron Wing, which is going to grant her speed +3, so that's pretty solid. At the start of the turn, restores 7 HP to allies within 2 spaces of unit. And at the start of the turn, if the unit is adjacent to only beast or dragon allies, of course, here's that little string of text we're going to see on every beast unit's weapon, because this is how it's going to lay out the groundwork for them to be able to transform. So basically, once again, going to have to be surrounded by beasts or dragons, or solo. Otherwise, if they're next to any other units, they will not transform. She also grants attack +2 to herself when she is transformed, so that's all right. She's also got Sing. Obviously Sing has been power crept a little bit with characters like Legendary Zura, but of course not everybody's going to be getting that broken dance skill like that, so that's good. She's got a just solid Sing. Then we have Mirror Stance 2 for the attack and res +4 during combat. That's fine. Flyer Formation 3, unit can move to a space adjacent to a flying ally within 2 spaces. Going to be a pretty solid unit for a flyer team, I would guess, but the thing is, it's going to have to be beast flyers. It's not going to be a normal flyer team, because otherwise they're just going to untransform. And then, of course, we have a brand new C skill in Hone Beasts. So already right out of the gate in the first beast banner, we are getting Hone Beasts. Unfortunately, it's going to be 5-star locked, at least for the time being. I think, yeah, even Hone Dragons and stuff is still 5-star locked as well, so it could potentially remain that way. But here we go. Here we have it. Hone Beasts. Basically, if you want a solid beast team, looks like you're going to have to use most of the units in this banner right out of the gate. But for the rest of us, we can wait a little bit, and hopefully we'll get, another solid helping of beast units later that'll shake things up a bit and allow you to build a team at a little bit cheaper of a cost, I'll say. So obviously, attack and speed +6 for 1 turn. Typical Hone skill. Can be panic ployed and stuff like that, so not the best, but still a pretty solid buff. It's also going to be interesting to figure out if dragons are actually going to benefit from Hone Beasts and Fortify Beasts as well. It's quite possible, so you might not need Hone Dragons specifically anymore. There may be the potential for building a mixed team with both Beasts and Dragons and be able to just run Hone Beasts and have it work on anybody. So that seems kind of interesting. Then we have Reyson, White Prince Reyson. Okay, he is also... Oh, he's going to be a green beast unit, a green flyer. Interesting. So it really does seem like there's not that much of a rhyme or reason to the colors, at least not that's discernible yet, because they're both herons, they're both very similar, but he's also not colorless, so I guess if you're going for Leanne, it's probably a little bit easier to pull her on this banner. So he has Heron Wing, of course, which is also the same one as his sister Leanne, so his weapon is exactly the same. Sing is exactly the same. He has steady posture instead of stance, like his sister, so he gets speed and defense +4 instead of the res one. And he actually comes with the Fortify. So there's Fortify Beasts, Hone and Fortify in the same banner. It's quite interesting. So of course the defense and res +6 for 1 turn. So we already have pretty much the building blocks of what will be initial beast teams right here.
Yeah!
Then we have Nailah. I had a feeling her artwork was going to be good. So, Unflinching Eye, Nailah, the Queen of the Wolves. And of course, as we saw in the other trailer, she is a blue beast unit and considered an infantry beast unit because she's just a wolf. She's not a flyer or anything like that. Okay, so Wolf Queen Fang, Might of 14. Accelerate special trigger cooldown count -1. So she does have that built-in slaying weapon effect in her Fang, which I guess makes sense. This is the Wolf Queen. She should have a pretty special Fang weapon. During combat, boost the unit's attack and speed by number of allies within 2 spaces ×2. So basically a bit of an Owl Tome effect here for attack and speed. Maximum bonus of +6 to each stat. And that's also going to help because you're going to want her near other beast units anyway, because if you want her to stay transformed, I mean, they could also be solo and still transform. Essentially, she's going to want to travel with her little pack, hopefully a wolf pack at some point if we get like Volug and other characters like that in the game. But yeah, she's going to want to be near your other allies. Not going to be good for mixed teams, of course, because if she's next to infantry or anything else, she won't transform. And so that boost, not going to be very good there. And then, of course, she has the typical beast text like we just said. And also grants attack +2 and deals +10 damage when the special triggers. So she has the Wodao also built in. So she has basically a Slaying Fang and a Wodao Fang all together. Pretty nice already. She comes with Moonbow, obviously a very solid skill, still a very, very good skill. Distant Counter is her A slot. That's pretty nice. And then this next one is really funny, actually. Null Sea Disrupt 3. Neutralizes status effects and disables skills that prevent counterattacks during combat. So basically that brand new Corrin skill that we just got, Null Follow-Up, this nullifies the Null Follow-Up. I don't know, I find that funny for some reason. That's just really, really silly. Then she also has Glare as her C skill. I do also want to make a note here that this skill does have a white border around it, which means that it seems like it's going to be more of a personal skill, not going to be inheritable, most likely, to anybody else. So for her custom skill in Glare, after combat, if unit attacked, inflicts status on target and foes within 1 space of target, restricting movement to 1 space through their next actions. So basically she's going to have a bit of a gravity effect built into her C slot, which I find pretty interesting. I don't know how good that's actually going to be in use, but seems very, very cool. It's the first time that we're seeing it in a C skill like that, so I like that a lot. But yeah, that Null Sea Disrupt 3, that's a pretty funny skill. I like the fact that it's kind of undoing the previous skill that we just got, so that's going to be quite a thing, huh?
I'll dye my fangs red.
I like her wolf sprite too. And of course then the obligatory end of trailer check, where we can actually see that Hell is on the battlefield here. So it's the first time that we're actually seeing Hell's sprite in the game. That's interesting. She looks pretty good actually. So very, very cool. We can see Leanne also untransformed for the first time. So that's pretty interesting. And that is going to be a wrap for this banner. But we do also know, thanks to in-game text, that Nailah is also going to be an upcoming Grand Hero Battle unit. Nailah being the King of the Ravens and Path of Radiance and Radiant Dawn. He was a pretty interesting character, so I'm excited to see what skills he'll bring to the table and how good he'll be. He will be a Grand Hero Battle unit, so typically their stats and stuff are not quite as good as the banner characters. So I'm hoping that he'll still be good, even though he is a Grand Hero Battle unit. But I'm glad that we're getting essentially a free beast unit pretty quickly on here, too. I would expect, honestly, if these beast units change up the metagame quite significantly, we'll probably end up seeing beast-killing weapons come a little bit further down the road, perhaps a couple months from now. That's probably going to be a thing. That tends to be how gacha games and stuff like this works. Introduce the problem, introduce the solution soon after, without actually fixing the stats or anything. That's been their MO, pretty much. As for their stats, which we actually did get to see in this trailer, which is pretty unusual, a level 40 Reyson is looking to have 37 HP, 45 attack, 37 speed, 24 defense, and 26 resistance. So Reyson's actually built a little bit differently than I kind of assumed he would be built. He's a little bit glass, honestly. His attack is pretty weak, but then again, we have to consider that these are dancers as well. So they're about on par with things. They have pretty good speed as well. Leanne has 36 HP, 43 attack, 40 speed, 16 defense, and 34 resistance, being built a little bit more like Air, for example, with the tankier res at the expense of her defense, and a little bit less attack, but a little bit more speed than Reyson. Tibarn is looking to have, at level 40, 41 HP. He has a boosted 63 attack, which is probably going to be after receiving a buff from somebody else, potentially a +6, so probably upper to late 50s as far as his attack stat. At this point, 31 speed's not quite that good. He's going to have trouble doubling some people, although he does have that built-in quick riposte essentially in his weapon, as long as the unit he's attacking is at full HP. So he'll definitely get off the double, at least for the first round of combat. Then he's got 34 defense, which is to be assumed. He's a very battle-worn, battle-ready character. Seems like he could take a hit. and obviously that weak resistance. Looks like Reinhardt will also be a pretty solid check for Tibarn since he's blue with that lower res. And of course, when attacking, he's also going to get that attack +6 and defense +10 from Sturdy Impact, which is going to put Tibarn up to a respectable, at least early 60s attack and 44 defense, which is quite nice, honestly. It does also seem like their stats are probably not going to change like we originally thought when they're untransformed. They're probably just going to remain exactly the same as usual, aside from their extra bonuses and boosts that they get from their weapons when they are transformed. I'm not really certain how to feel about that just yet. I guess it will kind of make it so that they won't be in such a tight situation if they do end up de-transforming on the enemy phase or something like that, and they get attacked. But at the same time, I do sort of miss that mechanic from Path of Radiance and Radiant Dawn, where they were kind of more defenseless when they were untransformed. And I do think that that probably would have went another step forward in balancing these units. Maybe that's too much. Maybe that kind of makes them too bad. But honestly, I will miss that. So let me know what your thoughts are on this banner in the comment section down below. Definitely a lot to dissect here and to think about. That Sturdy Impact, though, I'm not excited about that skill, honestly. Things were challenging enough as it was. I mean, Surtur can be dealt with. The problem is when you have other extenuating circumstances surrounding him that make him a lot harder to deal with. This skill definitely helps him quite a lot, so I'm really not excited to see Surturs with Sturdy Impact in modes like Ether Raids and stuff. But definitely be sure to let me know your thoughts in the comment section down below. If you like this episode, do me a favor and slash that thumbs up. It really helps out the channel. And if you'd like to stay up to date on all the latest Heroes news, be sure to follow us on Twitter. If you haven't already, please get subscribed to the channel so that you don't miss out on any of our new videos. And of course, if you'd like to join us for further discussion beyond this video, be sure to check out and join our Discord server. Links, as always, will be in the description down below. Thank you so much for watching, and I will be sure to catch you guys in the next episode.